New York City's architectural story begins in the early 17th century. Dutch settlers established New Amsterdam at the southern tip of Manhattan. The city's earliest buildings reflected their European heritage. Dutch colonial architecture was practical and functional. Buildings were often made of wood and brick. They featured steep roofs, with gables facing the street. One surviving example is the Peter Clayson Wyckoff House in Brooklyn. Built in 1652, it stands as a testament to the city's earliest architectural heritage. The irregular layout of streets in Lower Manhattan reflects the organic growth of the early settlement. This stands in contrast to the later grid system imposed as the city expanded. The Dutch colonial period laid the foundation for New York City's architectural future. The arrival of English rule in 1664 marked the end of Dutch dominance.
The late 17th and 18th centuries saw the rise of colonial architecture. This style blended English architectural trends with American practicality. Georgian architecture, a prominent sub-style, emerged during the reign of King George II. It became popular in New York and other colonial cities. Georgian buildings emphasized symmetry and proportion. They featured simple facades, often adorned with classical elements. Materials like brick and wood were common. Hipped roofs with dormers provided ample light and ventilation. The Fraunces Tavern in Lower Manhattan offers a glimpse into this era. Built in 1719, it served as a meeting place for revolutionaries during the American Revolution. The colonial period witnessed New York's transformation from a Dutch outpost to a thriving English colony. The birth of the United States ushered in a new era of architectural expression. Federal architecture, inspired by the Roman Republic, emerged as a symbol of the newly formed nation. This style emphasized grandeur and monumentality, reflecting the ideals of democracy and civic virtue. Federal buildings often featured Palladian-inspired facades. They incorporated columns, pediments, and other classical motifs. Materials like marble and granite lent an air of permanence and authority. The Alexander Hamilton U.S. Custom House, completed in 1811, epitomizes federal grandeur. The Greek Revival style, popular from the 1820s to the 1850s, coincided with the rise of American democracy. Inspired by the architecture of ancient Greece, it symbolized democratic ideals and the pursuit of knowledge. Greek Revival buildings often featured Doric, Ionic, or Corinthian columns. The Federal Hall National Memorial, built in 1842, is a prime example of Greek Revival architecture. Its imposing Doric columns and austere facade evoke the spirit of ancient Greece and the ideals of the American Republic.
The mid-19th century witnessed the rise of Romanticism, celebrating emotion and imagination. This shift found expression in Gothic Revival and Italianate styles. Gothic Revival evoked spirituality and history, featuring pointed arches, vaulted ceilings, and ornate details. St. Patrick's Cathedral stands as a testament to Gothic Revival grandeur. Italianate style drew inspiration from Renaissance villas. Brooklyn Heights and Park Slope brownstones are enduring examples. Both styles reflected the Romantic spirit of the mid-19th century. Section 5. Gilded Age. Grandeur, Beaux-Arts, and Romanesque rivalries. The late 19th century marked the dawn of the Gilded Age, a period of unprecedented economic growth and social change. New York City, at the forefront of this transformation, witnessed the rise of two architectural styles that reflected the city's burgeoning wealth and ambition: Beaux-Arts and Romanesque Revival. Beaux-Arts architecture, inspired by the École des Beaux-Arts in Paris, represented the epitome of grandeur and opulence. Buildings in this style featured elaborate facades, often adorned with sculptures, columns, and other classical motifs. The Grand Central Terminal, a masterpiece of Beaux-Arts design, embodies the style's grandeur and attention to detail. Its soaring ceilings, intricate carvings, and celestial ceiling mural create a sense of awe and wonder. Romanesque Revival, in contrast to the exuberance of Beaux-Arts, drew inspiration from the sturdy and imposing architecture of Romanesque Europe. Buildings in this style featured massive stone walls, rounded arches, and towers. The Carnegie Hall, with its rusticated stone facade, rounded arches, and imposing tower, is a prime example of Romanesque Revival architecture.
Section 6. Reaching for the Sky Art Deco and the birth of the skyscraper. The early 20th century witnessed a technological innovation that would forever alter the city's skyline: the skyscraper. As land became scarce and the population soared, architects turned to steel frame construction to build taller and taller structures. This new era of verticality coincided with the rise of Art Deco, an architectural style that celebrated modernity, progress, and geometric forms. Art Deco buildings featured sleek lines, geometric patterns, and stylized ornamentation. The Chrysler Building, a masterpiece of Art Deco design, embodies the style's soaring ambition and decorative flair. Its distinctive spire, clad in stainless steel, and its intricate ornamentation, inspired by automobile design, make it one of the city's most recognizable landmarks. The Empire State Building, completed in 1931, became a symbol of American ingenuity and resilience during the Great Depression. The skyscraper, made possible by advancements in steel frame construction, became synonymous with New York City's ambition and its ever-evolving skyline. Section 7. Modernism's March, from Bauhaus to Brutalism. The mid-20th century ushered in a new era of architectural thought, modernism. This movement rejected the ornate styles of the past in favor of functionality, simplicity, and new materials. Architects embraced the idea of form follows function, believing that a building's design should be dictated by its purpose. The Bauhaus, a German school of art and design, played a pivotal role in shaping modernist architecture. Its principles emphasized clean lines, geometric forms, and the use of industrial materials like steel, glass, and concrete. The Lever House, completed in 1952, is a prime example of Bauhaus influence in New York City. Its glass and steel facade raised on pilotis and its open floor plan reflect the modernist emphasis on transparency and functionality. Brutalism, a later offshoot of modernism, emerged in the 1950s and 60s. The Whitney Museum of American Art, now the Met Breuer, designed by Marcel Breuer and completed in 1966, is a prominent example of brutalist architecture.
Section 8. The City Looks Forward, Postmodernism and Beyond. The late 20th century witnessed a reaction against the austerity of modernism. Postmodernism embraced complexity, irony, and a playful approach to historical styles. The AT&T Building, designed by Philip Johnson, is a seminal example of postmodern architecture. Deconstructivism emerged in the 1980s, challenging traditional rules. The Guggenheim Museum Bilbao, by Frank Gehry, is a landmark of deconstructivist architecture. Contemporary architecture in NYC evolves with new technologies and environmental concerns.
Section 9. A legacy etched in stone and steel architecture as New York's story. From the humble Dutch colonial structures of New Amsterdam to the soaring skyscrapers of the 21st century, New York City's architecture reflects the city's ever-evolving identity. Each architectural style tells a story, revealing the aspirations, values, and challenges of its time. Georgian and federal styles reflect the city's growth as a center of commerce and the birth of a new nation. Gothic Revival and Italianate buildings evoke the Romantic spirit of the 19th century. Beaux-Arts and Romanesque Revival structures embody the Gilded Age's opulence and ambition. Modernism's emphasis on functionality and simplicity reflected the city's post-war optimism. Postmodernism and deconstructivism challenged the status quo, reflecting the city's diversity and its willingness to embrace new ideas. Section 10. Conclusion. New York City's architectural heritage is a testament to the city's enduring spirit of innovation, resilience, and ambition. From its earliest days as a Dutch settlement to its present status as a global metropolis, New York has always been a city in flux, constantly reinventing itself. The city's skyline, a testament to human ingenuity and ambition, will continue to inspire and awe generations to come.